Hello and Namaste. I am Ketan Kang from 192 Consulting. In this video, we are going to deal with another investor query. This query relates to shares being transferred to Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority from the demat account of the shareholders. This is a very wise question that has come to us. I'll give you the brief background of this scenario so that the investors looking at this video, watching this video can understand what kind of things can happen even if the shares are held in the demat form. An investor had dematerialized all his shares immediately after the concept of dematerialization came in. Later on, in a particular company, that investor did not update the address. Later on, he changed his residential address, and being an investor, he had invested in a lot of companies. On certain companies, he updated his address, and on other companies, he did not update his address. So, even though the shares were held in dematerialized format, the checks related to dividends were coming to his older address and were remaining unclaimed. This happened for 7 consecutive years, and the amendment of 2015 came in. Amendment of 2015 states that if the shares or if the dividend amount remains unclaimed, then not only the dividend amount but shares will also go to IEPFA. So, out of the host of companies that this investor had invested, there were certain companies on which the new address was not updated. Those companies were sending dividend warrants and dividend checks to the older address, and they were coming back to the company, or they were going back to the company without being claimed by the investor, as no one was staying on the older address. Now, the shares were held in dematerialized formats, yet the dividends were getting, or he was getting the dividends in the by way of bank checks and the details of the banks, and the new address was not updated on the company. In that case, even if the shares held in demat format will go to IEPFA, those shares will stop reflecting in the investor's account and they'll start reflecting in the IEPFA's account, because eventually the dividend has not been claimed for 7 consecutive years. Had it been the case that 2015 amendment was not present, or so to say, the amendment of 2015 was not introduced, and in earlier era, only the shares were held in demat format and only the dividends were going back to the company, then only those dividend amounts would have been transferred to IEPFA and not the shares, and shares would have remained intact in the demat format. But with this amendment of 2015, even though a person is holding shares in demat account and the dividend is not claimed for 7 consecutive years, then those shares will go to IEPFA irrespective of they being held in electronic format. I think we have answered this query. If you have any query related to dematerialization of shares, to shares being held in physical form and conversion of those shares in the demat form, which is now mandatory, you may please feel free to contact us. We will be all the more happy to help. You can contact us by marking your comment in the comment section of this video, or you can also write an email on info@192.in. We will be all the more happy to help. Thank you so much.